Trapped. Trapped. Dante Benegas. English translation by Tilan. Font fix. A thief stepped into the restaurant the way one dives into a fish tank full of noise. Cutlery clinked against cheap china. Ice cracked as it hit the glasses. A mute TV played an old match. 20-odd people occupied half the tables. No one looked up. Good. He wore sport clothes, a cap eating his forehead, and eyes like two lit matches. He leaned his elbow on the counter and let the pistol show, barely, like a secret shared with the cashier. She was going through some papers with the discipline of an office clerk. She didn't raise her head. "Give me everything in the till or I'll blow your head off," he said quietly, never taking his eyes off the gun. She kept reading, turned a page. Nothing else. "Damn it." He raised his voice a notch. "I said give me the money or I'll kill you. You and everyone here." Then, yes, she set the papers down, folded her hands, looked at him. There was no fear, no pleading. There was, to his horror, a smile, not a grimace, a clean, broad smile, as if this were an inside joke the world would never get. He tried to pin the threat with his stare. The smile didn't move. Something cracked inside him. He no longer knew whether to keep being a thief or take one more step and become a murderer. He felt the edge of a cliff. The line you don't cross, and if you do, you don't come back. He glanced around. No one had noticed a thing. People chewed, drank, half-smiled. A couple argued over a phone. A boy dragged a French fry through ketchup with scientific concentration. The world went on without him. Sweat came, dense as a cheap sauna. His hand shook. He lifted the gun a little higher, looking, perhaps, for the weight that would justify him. The cashier went on smiling, before and after, the late-shift Mona Lisa. The air thickened. He raised his chin to breathe. He pictured the patrolman's round on the corner, counted the seconds it would take him to enter if someone screamed. No one screamed. Better and worse at once. "Listen," he said, lower now, searching for a crack. "Give me whatever's there and I'll go." Silence. The paper still. The smile intact. He felt the vertigo of waiting for a gunshot that doesn't come. The clock on the wall seemed stopped on purpose. The second hand nailed in place. The needle frozen like an insect playing dead. For the first time since he'd picked up the pistol, he thought about asking for help. Help for what? To rob better? To leave without killing? The idea made him nauseous. An inner voice began dictating. Fire into the ceiling, drop the gun, jump through the window, apologize, steal a stick of gum, and leave. None of it sounded reasonable, none of it possible. He looked at his hands. The right gripped the gun. The left hung open, useless. For a second he thought the pistol had turned lighter, as if made of air. He tested the trigger with the faintest rub, like feeling for a door in the dark. Nothing happened. Or rather, something did. Fear settled in his stomach like a stone. Someone laughed at the back table at something that had nothing to do with him. The sound sliced through him. He felt the insult of being invisible. He discovered himself as an insect, a fly caught in the web of an ordinary afternoon. How easy it would be to fly away, he thought. Start over, stop stealing, buy a job, invent another life. 10-second fantasies. He looked again at the cashier. Still there, still as a statue that had learned to wait. It wasn't beauty on her face. It was a peace so vast it offended. A peace that suddenly reminded him of a scene. Himself as a child in front of the TV, when the world looked still and yet everything was about to happen. The gun weighed heavy. Sweat ran down his back. Meanwhile, the restaurant kept its choreography. plates arriving, glasses emptying, napkins staining. There was no place for him in that dance. No one offered him one. "Come on," he murmured, not sure whether to her or to himself. "Do something." She blinked once. Nothing else. He understood that time in there wasn't the same as outside. The clock ticked. Yes, but on other clocks. In that rectangle of tiles and fryer smoke, the present was bogged down, as if a petty god had hit pause to watch him squirm. Fear changed shape. It stopped being a wave that hits and became a cold puddle clinging to his ankles. His breath snagged. His heart drummed in his ears with the hollow sound of an old tom. He pulled the trigger. Nothing. He pulled again, harder, as if force could summon fate. Nothing. A cold climbed his arm, crossed the shoulder, camped at the nape. For a moment he thought someone held him from behind, pinning him with an invisible grip. He turned. Nobody. People kept eating. The ketchup boy had managed a perfect circle. He wanted to run for the door and discovered his feet weighed tons. His shoes, 2 anchors. He looked at the cashier one last time. That smile, he understood now, wasn't for him. It was the smile of someone who knows what others don't. The smile of someone unafraid because she is elsewhere. He lowered the gun, barely. Closed his eyes to find an edge out of himself. He found it. Not a door, but a short tunnel, a small blast, a streak running from his hand to his forehead. The shot sounded like a bottle breaking in a pool. No screams. Perhaps 2 gazes lifted and returned to their plates, as if something had fallen from the ceiling and were already handled. He fell to his knees. Before hitting the floor, he heard the scrape of the projectile cutting the air. It seemed a long sound, almost kind, like a train entering a familiar station. Then nothing. The cashier stopped smiling, picked up the phone and dialed, waited. When her voice came, it was simple, almost administrative. "Officer? Yes, it's done." She hung up, straightened the papers. The TV showed a striker missing a goal. At the back table, the ketchup boy, happy with his work, ate it.